All right, time to talk science and tech right now with CTV science and technology expert Dan Riskin. Good Monday morning to you, Dan.
Good morning.
Let's talk about this one. Really interesting. Extreme heat is bad for mental health.
Yeah, so I mean, and of course this goes into a climate change context. Everybody's thinking about what's going to happen as the temperature just keeps getting cranked up in little bits. And, you know, it's not the average that gets you, it's those extreme days. And this past summer, we saw extreme temperatures across Canada, especially on BC. A new study looks at about 3.5 million hospital visits in the US and tries to correlate mental health visits with extreme temperature bouts. And what they find is that on those extremely hot days, there's about an 8% increase in mental health visits. And it's an increase overall in mental health visits, but most alarmingly, things like self-harm, anxiety, substance use disorder, those are things that are on the rise when it gets too hot. People just aren't built to handle those extreme temperatures. And so when it gets too hot, you know, we feel it in our mental health.
I think a lot of us in Eastern Canada didn't realize that in Western Canada, a lot of people don't even have air conditioning to sort of deal with the extreme heat because they just hadn't dealt with it for so long. So that sort of, you know, goes on top of the whole problem as well. Okay, this is interesting, Dan. You know, when you talk about brain health, turns out long-term pet ownership can really help.
Yes, so this is a great study out of the States, about 1,500 people, half of whom have cats or dogs, half of whom don't. It started tracking them. They were elderly subjects, tracking them over the course of 5 years. And, you know, when the elderly get older, they have cognitive decline. It goes down a little bit on average, not everyone, of course. But what they found is the people who had pets had less decline than the people who did not have pets. So having a cat or a dog seems to help against that cognitive decline. And the people who had pets for at least 5 years or longer had even less of an effect. So having a pet in the long term is good for your mental health as you age.
Okay, that is good to hear and something to keep in mind. That's kind of the cute segment. Here's the kind of gross part of this segment. Kitchen sponges, the perfect breeding grounds for bacteria. Ugh.
Ooh, yes, absolutely. There it is. Yes. I mean, so these yellow sponges, they look like miracle workers, but a new study shows just how much bacteria can live in them. The magic number is 54 billion bacteria per cubic centimeter. So that's 7 times the human population of Earth per cubic centimeter.
Sounds like a lot.
It is a lot, but that happens because it's moist, but it's aerated, right? The oxygen can get into all the nooks and crannies. And most importantly, this new study finds it's because of all the little pockets. And so what you can have is over here, there's a little colony of this kind of bacteria and its cousin A. But over in this pocket, there's that same bacteria with its cousin B, and they have a different sort of synergy. And so different species can thrive in different places. If they were all in one vat, there wouldn't be the diversity. But because the sponge has all those little holes, more of them can live there. So that's the miracle of the sponge.
All right, that is something to keep in mind as you're doing your dishes this morning or this afternoon. Look out for what's in that sponge because it's packed with nastiness. Okay.
It is.
Dan, always appreciate this. Thanks so much. Have a great week.
Take care. You too.
Okay.